With Formula E's third visit to the Argentinian capital, the stage was set for a fascinating race, with the now familiar track in Puerto Madero. First, we turn our attention to championship leader Sebastian Buemi and the Renault team. Buemi's third on the grid in Buenos Aires was his best qualifying so far, but it took him until lap 6 to work his way into the lead, and from there we got to see exactly how fast the car is. Initially, he opened up a 0.8 second advantage over Jean-Eric Vergne, which he then consistently extended by as much as a second a lap, building up to a 6.1 second lead by the time they pitted. Less happy with the balance of his second car, Buemi allowed Vergne to close the gap back to as little as 1.7 seconds, but having managed his energy carefully, he had no need to back off in the closing laps and came home 3 seconds to the good to become the first driver ever to win 3 Formula E races in a row. Banishing the bad memories of Marrakesh, Jev produced the performance that Techeetah had been threatening since the start of the season with a solid second place. His advantage over the chasing pack was impressively around 5 seconds in the opening stint, and whilst De Grassi did briefly manage to claw it back to under 2 seconds in the second stint, Jean-Eric Vergne soon extended the gap back to 3 seconds. In the sister car, Ma Qinghua continues to struggle. His best race lap was 1.5 seconds slower than Jev's fastest, and finishing a lap down in 16th place is failing to do the car justice. After last season's trials and tribulations, Next EV Neo are starting to put together some good performances. With pole in Hong Kong and being the only team to get 2 cars in Super Pole in Buenos Aires, but in the 2 opening races of the year, Nelson Piquet Jr. and Oliver Turvey have struggled to maintain their great qualifying position in the races. Thermal issues caused Turvey to slow in the second part of the race in Argentina, which dropped him from the battle for the podium to a distant 9th. But things were much more positive for Piquet, who basically matched Nico Prost lap for lap in the second part of the race to come home 5th, less than 10 seconds behind Buemi. Meanwhile, Formula E newcomers Panasonic Jaguar Racing are also beginning to get to grips with the championship. After an excellent qualifying lap by Mitch Evans gave the team a huge boost in Buenos Aires, and while the Kiwi ran in the top 10 for a large part of the race, the team still has a long way to go to be fighting for points on a regular basis. The tricky, bumpy track in Puerto Madero caught out a lot of drivers, and with Evans nailing his qualifying effort, 7th place on the grid was just reward. Throughout the race, Evans lapped consistently around the 1 minute 12 mark, setting a best lap time of 1 minute 12.062. Perhaps the biggest disappointment of the weekend, though, was for Jose Maria Lopez in the DS Virgin. A point for 10th place was almost certainly considerably less than he was hoping for on home soil, especially given the rapturous reception the fans gave him throughout the weekend. He was heading for a place in Super Pole when he crashed in qualifying, and starting from the back of the grid was going to make things tough. He set the 6th fastest lap overall, which is more or less representative of his race pace, but if he's going to deliver that kind of result in the race, he needs to keep the car out of the wall and start further up the grid.